Hello YouTubers, this is Describe and just let me have some black wine. I'm feeling a bit thirsty. Lovely. I was looking back on, certain parts of my life and even on YouTube and in other places. Part of me, some part of me laughs and other part of me thinks, did I really make that or did I really say that? I mean, I suppose it's getting older that's causing this, but looking back at it, I kind of understand. I mean, life is a strange thing in many ways. I mean, you have elements of yourself that you won't like when you come back after 10 years, and I do feel like over the last few years, I've changed in many ways. I mean, I'm not the same as I was even back 2 years ago. Never mind, a decade ago. But I've done so much. I've learned so much in the last 5 years, which is one of the reasons why I originally disappeared off YouTube because I was having my own problems at home. But also, I had a lot to learn. I mean, I wasn't able to come on YouTube and make videos when I really didn't have the energy to do so at the time. And when I did have the energy, it was just all laughs. I mean, it was just taking the mick, like I think at some point doing porn reviews or something like that, which is kind of funny. I was a bit younger at the time, but looking back at it now, I think if it was to restart today and do things in a different way, I have a much more balanced mind than I did back then, which is kind of understandable because I'm not under the same kind of pressure. So, what is it about YouTube and creators that makes them, fun to watch? Well, I mean, it can be things as basic as somebody being absolutely fucking crazy. I mean, you can have somebody like me in the early days when I was, making these kind of reviews and getting each video pulled all the time because of it. But in many ways, I look back at some of the videos and think, oh, that's kind of strange, that video. But then again, I understand where I was coming from, because if you put me back in the same situation, I'm going to still have the same kind of flaws that I've always had. And then I thought, well, it's part of a journey, really. When you think about life itself as part of a journey, and you guys watching this will understand what I mean. You are never the same person throughout your ages, throughout your life. You won't be the same person in 10 years. You'll be somebody you won't recognize. As time goes on, if you keep on doing the same things you are doing today, then you go further and further ahead during that time. It has a natural progression of changing your mind and changing your brain in many ways. Now, I don't think I am particularly even, let's say, efficient at what I do. And that's one of my personality weaknesses, which I understand what I should be doing, but I don't necessarily do it in the most efficient way. I do it in a way that just feels right at the time, and this is why I've had moments on YouTube when I've been absolutely brilliant. Even I thought, that's pretty fucking good. Like when I'm doing cartoons, when I was taking the mickey out of things, and I realised that that I'm kind of proud of those moments because they're kind of creative, and I didn't start YouTube originally understanding how to actually draw anything. I didn't know how to draw anything, and then I started watching videos by other YouTubers. I think one of them was something called Mr. Tyler's Reviews back in years ago, and we did have our disagreements at the time, but I did actually speak to him years ago. And he had people on his channel who were very, very good artists. And then there was a guy who was on a kind of a Doctor Who episode, and he was somebody called, I can't remember what his name is. He did the Absorbaloff, which is a monster I always hated. I thought it was one of the worst TV episodes I've ever seen, mainly because it was absolutely ridiculous. But I kind of learned somehow, or was somehow inspired how to draw from those guys, and it kind of made me realise that Nothing in your life is you aren't attracted to certain people. When I say attracted, I mean my friends are these people. What I mean is you are brought together to certain people because they have qualities that you don't have. Right? So they have something in their life that you should have, but you don't, and that's why you're attracted to these persons. So I mean, and this can be the good or the bad, right? So this could be even somebody who's completely psychopathic, let's say, but they have things in your life that they have things in their life that you should be taking note of. So they're able to say no to people. They're able to walk away from people. And you have to learn that. Another things is they have certain people like these creative people on YouTube have written books. I mean, that guy was talking about Mr. TARDIS. He was somebody who, looking back on it, was kind of a clever bloke, really, because you got somebody who was able to do art as well as videos, and and also made a book himself, which was very well done, actually. Come and think about it. And I think the reason why I came across something like that wasn't really for me to go, oh God, this guy's doing really good, much better than me. He deserved to do better than me at the time. But it was to learn from these people somehow, right? So, I mean, people in the past would tell me how gay art was, and I used to enjoy doing art in college, not college, but school. And after the fourth year or something, for third or fourth year, I sort of never touched on art again, on how to draw, stuff like that. And it was a shame, really, because I realised later on that when I was doing more and more art on the computer, I was just getting better and better at it, at drawing and everything. I was able to do it when before I wasn't able to do any kind of art. And this is where I was coming across the idea of skills being a life force, a kind of currency, if you will. I kind of learned that from watching other people making videos, because the truth of the matter is I wasn't ready in what my life mission is, what my dharma is, to actually make any content at that period of time. I had to go through what I had to go through. It was simple as, and it's unfortunate I had to go through certain things, because certain things are not always nice, but has it shaped me into a better version of myself? I don't know, but it has shaped me towards the creative side, which is probably where we need to be heading. So yeah, I mean, the reason why we do things in life is, I mean, it's kind of an unfortunate thing that life has to end in a way, because you're building up more and more knowledge, more understanding of how the world works. You understand people better, you understand yourself better, but you're getting weaker and weaker and weaker as time goes on. But you do reach a peak, and it's important when you do reach the peak that you're able to then use your energy in a positive light that would actually be beneficial for everybody around you. And I realized years ago that when I was making videos on YouTube, that I wasn't actually in a good place, or wasn't in a place where people could actually watch me and learn anything from, other than trolling, which in some ways was, when I say trolling, it was kind of light trolling. It was more like pranks, stuff like that, rather than being nasty, downright fucking nasty. To be honest, I wasn't anything like that. But I was somebody who was making ridiculous videos. I mean, porn reviews, and also, what was it? These cartoons of activism and stuff like that, and that thing about what would happen if you fell through the centre of the planet. And that was actually a very good video, and it's kind of unfortunate, never really got that many views. But I kind of enjoyed making that, animation, even though it wasn't that good. It still was good for what I was doing. So I don't know really the ages of people who actually watch my videos, but I should imagine that a lot of them will be around about 20, 30, might be a few younger. But as I said before, you have to learn from your mistakes. You also have to learn that no energy is ever wasted in this universe, right? Whatever you put out always comes back to you. in a positive or negative fashion. So this means even if you did a lot of shit, right? A lot of shit, like a lot of crap work on YouTube, like I did. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything else afterwards will always be at that subpar level. It doesn't. I mean, I've learned so much. It's it's coming time when I can actually make videos these days, and the kind of interest. And I do have to improve what I have in the place where I am to actually make decent videos. Maybe sound needs to be improved. The videos of the software and everything has improved vastly since I began YouTube. For instance, I bought this computer for 80 odd quid, and it's better than some of the computers I had like half a decade ago, which were much more expensive. And even the camera is much better at picking up pictures than the old camera that I had. So everything is improving. Everything is improving at a vast pace, far cheaper, which is really beneficial for the people who are creative. So at the moment we have a lot of people online who are, let's say, they have a lot of money and they're making a lot of content, and some of it's very decent, some of it's not. And then you have people like myself and maybe you guys out there who do make content, but you're not actually rich, you're not able to afford all the top-notch stuff, but you think you're wasting your time. Believe me, you're not. You're not wasting your time. You never waste energy. Energy is never wasted, right? It's always directed to a point, right? So when I say it's not wasted, somebody can use your energy if you do it wrong. But if you actually learn from your mistakes, you can become something you never believed you could in the first place. And I think that's really what I'm trying to get off this video. I'm trying to say that learning's a beautiful thing. So don't stop doing it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye for now. See you in the next video.